What's good, everybody? It's your brother, Man Black, the most dangerous, most toxic black man on the internet. The brother who told you not to let that freeloading family member stay at your house, but you did it anyway, and now they feel entitled to whatever they get from you. And I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, I really wanted to talk about this story since it came across my so called news desk here. And it's the story of former NBA player Jalen Rose. And I'm trying to remember. I know for a fact that he played for the Bulls in like the early 2000s, and I think before that he played for the Indiana Pacers because I remember him playing with Reggie Miller. So forgive me if I got that wrong or if I don't remember it correctly. I haven't watched basketball in forever, and sometimes my mind gets certain players and certain teams confused. But I know for a fact he played for the Bulls and the Pacers. I know he's played for a bunch of teams, but those are the two that I know off the top of my head. But he's a former NBA player, and he's now a commentator on ESPN. So he's been doing that for a long time, and makes pretty decent money doing that, right? So he bought a house for his mother, and both his mother and grandmother were living there. And sad to say, both his mother and his grandmother have both passed away. So after they passed away, Jalen Rose is thinking about, wanting to sell this house that he had bought for them since they've been gone for over a year now. So he wants to, do something with the house. But he's got a very ignorant family member, which is his sister, who I guess she feels that somehow she is shaming him by kind of putting him on blast on social media, because while Jalen Rose is at the house with the realtor, kind of looking over the house, she is, bringing up all this. She's basically attacking him right then and there in the house. And I'm gonna play the audio so you folks can hear it. There's really no point in me showing the video because there's really nothing going on in the video. She's making it out to be more than it actually is. She's making it seem like this is some egregious thing going on in the video, but basically it's just him showing the house to realtors so he can sell it. But she's been living there at the house as the quote unquote caretaker of the mother. And like I said, the mother died a year ago. So basically she should have packed her bags and left already. But she feels she should be able just to live and stay in that house. So let's listen to the audio here and you folks can hear what she's talking about. Let's listen to Jalen Rose's sister.
Get my summer stuff ready and trying to continue to be healthy, but then I got to keep dealing with this idiot and this foolishness. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. Do not go in there. Don't go in my mother's room. Do not go in my mother's room. My mother just died last year, okay?
Yeah, a year ago.
And you bringing strangers all in here, Jalen Rose, to walk to your mother's house that you love so much, that you trying to sell her house a year after she passed while your sister's still living here in it. And you had the audacity to call me a squatter when I took care of our mother and our grandmother in this house. You got a lot of nerve, Jalen Rose. You got a lot of nerve. And I hope the whole world see how much nerve you got now and how fake and phony you been talking about how much love you got to your mother and your family. Mighty funny. The man with the mic ain't got nothing to say today. Ain't that strange? Ain't that strange? How you gonna sell a house somebody live in and been living in for the last 3 years and not communicate? This what this guy is on.
Okay, so she's saying it's strange that he has nothing to say. That's not strange. He's being very smart. He's being very tactical by not saying anything and not saying how he probably truly feels. He probably wants to tell her to F off and get the hell out of there. But he's not doing that because he knows media perception of a black male even saying anything, even if it's true, even if it's the truth, if he says anything to his sister, he'll be vilified. I mean, and truth be told, he's already being vilified across social media against, and it comes from a lot of females out there who also feel very entitled to things, whether they work for it or did something for it or not. Okay, so let me try to break this down a little bit. All right, because I've seen people say, well, if she was the caretaker for his mother and grandmother, then she should be entitled to something, right? No. You're if you're going to be the caretaker to your mother, is because you love your mother, right? Otherwise, Jalen Rose could have just hired somebody to take care of her, and it would have been a clean break, because if he had just hired somebody once the mother passed away a year ago, he would not have to worry about all this nonsense. He could have just, he could have been sold the house, but because his sister was there, and I wonder if she was really the caretaker. You see what I'm saying? Like, or is she just calling herself that, quote unquote? Like, is that on paperwork somewhere? Is that a legal statement that she's making, that she was the quote unquote caretaker? Because that needs to be put in writing somewhere, if that's true. It can't just be familial ties. That doesn't count. Okay, and I wonder if she actually was the real caretaker, or she herself had nowhere to live, so she conned the mama to come in there and stay at the mama's house, right? I've seen it happen so many times in different families. Like, my family is nowhere near has the wealth that Jalen Rose has, and I've seen this before. I've seen cousins and whatnot worm their way into a family member's house because that older family member has some money. And there's a situation in my family where one of our great uncles passed away, and because he never had any children, he passed his money on to his siblings. And there's a lot of nonsense that went on behind other family members trying to get that money. So, when I see stuff like this in the news, I always want to make sure that the person that's being vilified is getting a fair shake. Because, like I said, the sister thought she was vilifying Jalen Rose, but she really makes herself look stupid. It makes her seem like feels entitled. She's a grown woman. She's not handicapped. You can go find some place to live, lady. This is not your house. He bought this house for his mother, not for you. Okay? You're an able-bodied adult. Go find somewhere else to live. All right? And for her to, because I could tell she was showing out, because she kept saying his full name. No one talks like that. No, when your family members don't call you by your full name. She was doing that on social media to show out, to make sure it wasn't just Jalen. You don't get it confused. It's Jalen Rose from ESPN. You see what I'm saying? That's why she was doing it, and that's very despicable that she would want to do that. Now let's say her little dumbass plan worked, and he gets canceled or loses his job. Now where you gonna live, dumbass? If if he loses money and he can't afford that house anymore, what you gonna do then? You're probably just gonna go back and stay in an apartment, right? Which what you should did in the first place. And I want to tell you something. Excuse me. If I had a family member who I who basically is living off of me and is talking to me like that at this point, I would just kick them out. Like, she'd have had her stuff on the curb within the next by the end of the week. Her stuff would have been sitting outside, and she would have been outside. She'd been locked out of the house. Okay, because you don't talk to someone like that. She was talking mad reckless for someone who has nowhere else to live. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass up out of here then, if you want to talk to me like that. All right, because obviously you don't have the money to support a mom and grandma, so you need to get out of here. And like I said, it's just I hate seeing ungrateful family members like that. I've helped certain family members with finances, but they've always been very grateful. And certain family members I know that if they ask me for money or something like that, it's they actually need it. Because my family's very proud, and the people that I've helped out, they wouldn't ask me for it if they actually didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? So I know they need it, so I'll give it to them, and I have no problem doing that. But if you have someone who's just ungrateful and running their mouth like this, it makes you not. I see why certain celebrities isolate themselves from their actual family. You know, and think about this: Jalen Rose isn't the most wealthy black celebrity out there. You know, think about what he's going through, and then think about other black celebrities like this. Now I understand why Michael Jackson isolated himself from his actual family. You know what I'm saying? Because money makes folks act completely insane. They just forget about that you were their family member, and they just feel that they just put their hands out. They want a handout, and that's just not how it works. And you can't do that. You can't just be giving them money and expecting to be able to save everybody, because you can't do that. A lot of black entertainers have gone downhill trying to do that, trying to help everybody and make everybody happy. It doesn't work that way. So, I mean, you folks, let me know how you feel about this situation in the comment section. I very much like to hear from you. If you've gone through this in your own family members acting entitled to some money or whatever, or just acting silly over some damn money, let me know in the comment section. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on these devils' back.